Information in the sky. How do scientists watch Earth without ever leaving the ground? We can't see. When we look up into the sky, we can't see approximately 560 human-made satellites orbiting the Earth. They're there, though, collecting information about our planet. Without these satellites, we couldn't make cell phone calls or monitor changes to the ozone layer. Satellites can be spacecraft made on Earth and sent into space on a launch vehicle. They can be natural too, like the moons that orbit planets. Sometimes satellites are space debris. This is in our vocabulary. Let's see what it means. Human-made objects that orbit the Earth and no longer useful. Well, that's mean. Human-made satellites gather useful information. They orbit Earth at different altitudes and different paths. Satellites are grouped according to their missions. Scientific research. Satellites gather information about the conditions of outer space. They also record changes on Earth and in its atmosphere, and observe planets, stars, and other distant objects that's far. That's important. Here's some tips. Weather satellites measure cloud cover, temperatures, air pressure, precipitation, and other conditions in the atmosphere. Weather sites on the internet often post images sent back from the satellites. Communication satellites are relay stations receiving radio signals from one place and sending them to another. A communication satellite can relay several TV programs or thousands of telephone calls at once. Navigation satellites allow hikers as well as the operators of aircraft, ships, and land vehicles to determine their exact locations. The satellites send a signal that is received by a vehicle or a handheld device. This is called a GPS. or global positioning system technology. Earth observing satellites take special pictures to map and monitor Earth's resources. They're also used to find mineral deposits, to identify and study pollution, and to detect disease in crops and forests. The military all use these types of satellites. Some military satellites, often called spy satellites, can detect the launch of missiles and course of ships at sea, and the movement of military equipment on the ground. If equipment on a satellite stops working, operators on the ground will keep it running as long as it still provides some useful information. If not, they can shut it off. A satellite will continue to orbit until it eventually slows down, falls back towards Earth, and burns up in the atmosphere. Creepy.